Hello students! Congratulations getting your lit review done. I am really excited to read those final literature reviews. I'm really glad that you did this project through the course of the semester, little by little, to come to this final paper that is really hopefully one of the best papers you've written so far in your life, is what I'm hoping that you've done. So really great job doing that. And I have a video on how to translate that paper into a poster. This video is on how you can actually record your poster presentation. So you can read the instructions here on Canvas on your own. I want to share one way that you could record this information. So with this poster presentation, I want you to turn in two things. One of those things is going to be the actual poster file. So whether that's a PDF or a presentation file like a PowerPoint. So it should be like one page of PowerPoint in PDF or PowerPoint format. So you'll turn in that file and you will turn in a video, the video of you presenting. When I do this in class, we'll actually present live to one another or have like a little session where half the class presents and half the class presents. But since this is an online class, we're using a digital recording of the presentation. So again, you will turn in your file and you will turn in a video. So that video can be turned in a MP4 format, or it could also be turned in as, say, a YouTube link or a file sharing link. A big key with that is just to make sure that I have access to that. So it's not set like behind a password or not private. Make sure that I can access that when I go to watch and then grade these presentations. All right, so I'll give you a couple ways of how to do this. For this, I have a couple example student posters. Each of these does have some problems. None of these were perfect, so you can hopefully look at this and say, oh, hey, I think I could see some ways to improve on that. And I might even mention a few on some of these. Alright, so the first way you could record is simply with Zoom. You can do this with one screen or two screens. I have two screens to make it easier in the recording to show you what I'm doing, but you can definitely do this with one screen as well, say on a laptop. So with Zoom, I have that open here, you can simply press this record button. And as you press record, it will start saving that file, and then it will put it straight on your hard drive at the end of the recording. When you stop recording, it will put that video file onto your hard drive. So what I might do is click record, do my intro to my poster, tell who I am, tell what the title is, and then share the screen. I would share the screen of this screen, so share that. And now you can see on this side, I actually have the material for the poster. So here I am sharing my screen. I have my face floating around. I can drag it around. You can make it a little smaller. You can make it a little bigger. Since my references are right here, I could just put my face there. I would like to see your face as well as your poster on your video. So here I'm able to present it in a big screen. I can talk about the introduction, the material, some of the stats that I learned, and the discussion, and then make sure that you can also see the references at some point, probably at the end of your presentation. But that is one way, using one single screen, using Zoom, you could be recording this whole presentation, and then at the end, I would say, well, stop sharing, my face goes big, I press record to end, I say thank you, press record, it ends, it saves that to my hard drive, and then I could take that video file. Since they're about 4 to 5 minutes, it should be small enough to simply upload it into Canvas, but if you're having any trouble uploading it into Canvas, which could happen depending on how many files you have already stored on your Canvas and how slow the internet is or Canvas is being that day, you could also upload that video to YouTube and then submit to me a YouTube link. You could also put it into a file sharing program, whether that's like OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Drive. Just make sure if you give me a link to that video file and not say like a YouTube link, make sure that I can actually download and view that video. So check your permissions, triple check your permissions to make sure I can. Alright, so that's one way you could do this with Zoom. Another way that you could do this is with a video recording software. So I'm using Linux right now, and so I often use Simple Screen Recorder. It's free, does everything I need, it captures audio, and that's a big key. With any kind of screen recording software, make sure it captures your audio as you're talking. So Zoom should do that. Microsoft Teams can also do the same kind of thing, but with Windows there's also OBS Studio that can do these things. Screencast-O-Matic has worked. With these, just make sure that you can record audio from these on the free version of the program. I don't want you to be spending extra money on these programs just for this assignment. So for Mac, OBS can work, Screencast-O-Matic. I've heard QuickTime Player can also do this, but I've never used that one. So just in Googling, I saw that it should be possible. So with that, you would be doing similar to what I'm doing right now. I have Simple Screen Recorder up. I have it recording a video, and so it's recording my screens. And so basically what I do is I get all my material set up. So let's open up another student poster as an example. Let's make this bigger. Let's turn this into a slideshow presentation. So now I'm all ready. I have my face over here. Again, you can run, say, Zoom in a smaller window or something like that if you only have one screen. But this is usually what I do. So I open up my screen recording software. I program it, hey, record the audio, record the video. I press start recording, and then I can present. So again, you could do this on one screen, you could do this on two screens. One screen is totally fine, but I would like to see your face and the poster at the same time. So I would go through my poster. Here's my introduction. These are my main points. Here are some data and some methods that were common across the studies. So one thing with that previous study is that previous poster example did not have the references in APA format. So this one does. This one does have the references in APA format, so that was a benefit here. This one doesn't have as many useful graphs and data points like visually, so it has more text here, which can be useful to have text, but it doesn't have as much visual data on this poster presentation. So again, something like OBS, something like Screencast-O-Matic, something like Simple Screen Recorder should work to do that, to record your screen and record audio. So just test it with a short video before, just to make sure everything's working correctly. And I do want to show you this final student poster example, or maybe I had two to show you. So here is another example from another student. So this is a slightly different format. You can see in some ways it's harder to read some of these things, but they do have a big table of data, a big graphic to reference as they're talking about their presentation. So you might be talking about Asian American bullying, and you'd say, well, from the microsystem, this is where family is. And so you might get some supports or some protective factors there. From the macro system, the culture, for example, might be one that supports bullying of Asian American students or something like that. So you can reference this graphic as you're presenting. So having more graphics in a presentation in some kind of visual format is really good when you're doing a presentation. So another example from students is this one. And so again, each of these does have some problems. Each of these has some things that are good about it. So for example, it's pretty easy to read. These ones where there's a white background and a black text. There is a useful graphic for them to refer to as they're talking about some specific points here. With this, hopefully these couple presentations give you an idea of how you could format yours. I showed you how to translate a poster or a paper into a poster as well. But hopefully this gives you some ideas of how you can record. Another option, if you wanted to, you could also simply take your presentation, screencast it, say like plug in your laptop to your TV, and literally put a camera in front of you. Like present it as if it was a poster presentation. You could literally have a camera facing you and your TV as you share your slide. You could get your video file that way. So again, you can do a video of yourself in front of your TV, sharing your slide and doing the presentation. You can do a screen capture like this with a software like OBS Studio, Screencast-O-Matic, Simple Screen Recorder. So just like I'm recording right now, you can also use the record function on Zoom to get your video file. So again, to turn in for this assignment, you will have your presentation file, so either a PDF or a PowerPoint document file. And second, you will turn in your video file. So that video file can be uploaded directly to Canvas because they should be short enough to do that. Or also you can upload that to YouTube and share me that YouTube link. You could upload it to a file sharing program and share me that link. But just make sure, however you're sharing it with me, that I can actually access and open that. Maybe log out of your account and try to like click into that video to see if someone who's not logged into your account can actually view that file. All right, hopefully that gives you some good tips on how to record this. Hopefully you've done something like this before. If not, though, it's not that difficult to do some kind of screen capture recording, and hopefully it will give you some good experience, because a lot of presentations now are done this way. Interviews done through Zoom where you might have to present something. My dissertation defense was literally sitting in the spot I am currently sitting in, and doing a presentation, sharing my screen on a bunch of slides. So this will get you some experience in the field of psychology, in some of the ways that we're doing and sharing information now. I also went to a research conference. I almost forgot about that. Totally online, where I presented a paper in this exact format. I was sitting the same place I am now with this camera and microphone, and I was sharing my screen as I was presenting research. I even jumped on to ask questions for other people's research, and so during COVID it was a completely digital event. There's actually a conference coming up in New Zealand that I would love to go to, but New Zealand is far and expensive to fly to, so I may end up just going to that conference virtually. So a lot of conferences are having that option. So this kind of presentation, while it might be a little different than you might be used to, hopefully getting used to this will help prepare you for some of the things that are happening in the fields of research and how we are sharing information. All right, well, good luck. Again, remember, turn in your file, turn in your video. All right, good luck.